Hi everybody, this is Lori at the Calico Cat Quilt Shop in Pipestone, Minnesota, and today I have got a new project for you. We are going to make these little stars. They've got 8 points on them, and you could make them for holiday or you could make them for anything. I was thinking also you could do patriotic, do reds and blues and maybe red, blue, and white. I don't know. This one has some Insulbrite in it, and so that one could be a pot holder. Yeah, I've also got one that's got 2 sides, so I did 2 identical stars and put them back to back and left a spot in the middle and stuck that on my tree, my little tree. So, but we'll get one made and show you how that works and go from there. So first what you're gonna need is 8, there's 8 points on here, so you are going to need 8, you're gonna start with squares of fabric. So it doesn't matter what size they are, but they all need to be the same size. I've got some squares that I've already cut. They are 6 inches is what I'm starting with. And I will show you. And mine, if you want to do them like this, where they're alternating, then you need 4 of each fabric, of 2 fabrics. So we're going to switch over here, and you're going to do a lot of ironing and a little bit of stitching. So I have got my 8 squares. They're all 6 inches. I already got those cut. And for each square, you're going to turn it wrong side up and start out by folding it into quarters and pressing. And it might be easier if I pressed it in half first. So we'll try that. Press it in half. And then press it in half again. And this is just going to make creases so that we can see where we need to fold, because we're actually going to take all the corners up to the middle and press each of those. I usually have the iron sitting over there, and so I have to reach across, and it's actually kind of weird to have it in a convenient place. You'd think it'd make it easier, but not necessarily. Okay, so I have got all 4 corners folded into the middle. And I'm just going to get one good press across that. And then pick a corner, and I'm going to fold this side into the middle. And press that. And then the next side, right next to it, do the same thing. Okay, so that is my basic shape, and I can go ahead and do this with all of my squares, and then we'll be ready for the sewing machine. So we'll do that, and I'll speed you up, and then we'll go to the sewing machine. are at the machine now, and I'm going to show you the sample. So if you look at the sample, the back side might be easier to see, but they overlap a little bit, and I want to stitch all of the fold, and so I could stitch a V, or when I put them together, I'm going to have to stitch again over part of it. So I could just stitch down one side, and then as I assemble them, I could go down the other side. And so that's what I'm going to do, so that I'm not going over it twice. And it'll make more sense as I go, as I show you. But so what I have done is I have gone ahead and drawn a line down the middle where the fold was to make it easier to see, because I can still see the crease, but you're not going to be able to see it very well. And that one is barely even on the crease, but most of them are pretty close. So I'm just going to pick a side, and I'm going to stitch, get this a little bit closer. I'm just going to stitch down one side, whichever side I pick, and I'm going to go ahead and backstitch at the beginning and at the end, because these are not going to be, I'm not going to be running over it anywhere else. Of course, then I have to remember to backstitch, don't I? And this is the end that will be covered up, so it probably won't be an issue. And I've picked a gray thread that will match my silver fabric, but it's going to stand out a little bit on the gold, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to get down to the end and do a lock stitch or back stitch, and then I can go ahead and just do the next one. I can still chain piece these together. And I'm just top stitching to lock down that fold. Really is all I'm doing. Cut everybody free. And now I'm going to do every other one is going to be different. So what I'm going to do is match the corner or the end, and then I'm going to lay this right across that line that I drew, which is at the fold. And that's going to keep my segments an equal distance all the way around. So now I'm going to go back and top stitch these two together and go all the way down to the bottom. And I'm going to lock stitch or go back and forth a couple times at the beginning and the end again also. Cutting my threads this time. So here's my line, and actually that crease you can kind of see a little bit better. So I'm just going to match the ends in the middle lay it across that line, and I could pin it if I wanted to, but it's not that big of a piece, so I'm not much of a pinner. And then I'm just going to continue to do that all the way around, alternating my colors each time. And it would probably help if I used a walking foot, but it's not that thick, so. Okay, now silver. And in the middle here, I'm trying to not overlap them too much, just get them to meet in the middle. If you get them too far apart, there'll be a little bit of a hole, but if you get them too close together, there'll be a lot of bulk. For the last one, I'm going to go ahead and put it in here like this, and then the first one is going to go over the top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first, and then I'll do that top one. So there we have our sample done in gold and silver, and you can see if I didn't get these spaced perfectly and I tried to make two of them and layer them back to back, they wouldn't fit very well, so that's something to be aware of. But yeah, if you make a little teeny one, you could put a ribbon on here, and I could just stitch on there, hand stitch or sewing machine, and hang that on the tree. Or you get really big and they can be pot holders. And so there. We'd love to see how your projects turn out if you try and make these little stars, so you can share with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.